All right, welcome to Vicky 3 Academy. I'm Walker. Here we are on We Play Games, and we're discussing economic system laws today. And so economic system laws are one of these things that are kind of categorical. You can kind of categorize them, but they have some really interesting and specific notes that I want to hit on. So first, most important to note, traditionalism, this is garbage. This is just a terrible law. It's everything about it's bad. The bureaucracy population cost multiplier does not offset how bad not having access to investment pool is, and it throws minus 25% taxation capacity on top, which is like it's just insulting. Like, we're not going to be driving taxation capacity with a bunch of peasants anyway, but you why are you doing this? You're taking away our investment pool. Unlike the rest of these guys down here, these are all investment pool economic systems. So traditionalism, this is sort of, it says they're pre-industrial subsistence economy with little central control. So this is not an agrarian economy. This is an agrarianism economy. This is a rural economy emphasizing agricultural development and community. So what this means is the way that your society is going to be structured is you're going to mostly be building agricultural buildings, because the agricultural buildings are going to employ a lot of aristocrats, and then the aristocrats in turn are going to provide you with investment pool contribution. Investment pool is very powerful. For those of you who have not used it, the reason it's so powerful is that it lets you build stuff for air quotes free. Because it'll just pool up here, and then eventually when you're building a thing that your current laws allow you to spend it on, in this case, if you have agrarianism, that's agriculture, plantations, ranches, and infrastructure, you can build that stuff using investment pool. That's huge. Building stuff for free is amazing. Plus, this lets you subsidize a couple of things. Subsidies we'll discuss when we get to intervention, but subsidies can be pretty useful. The biggest problem with agrarianism is that rural economies are really bad in 1.0.6. That might change if they rebalance the way GDP is calculated, but if they don't, then, like, generally speaking, rural economies are going to be terrible because they power up aristocrats. And so, like, even if everything else was the same, just if you're powering up aristocrats or powering up capitalists, aristocrats are always a problem. Capitalists are sort of a problem. And so if you have to tolerate the presence of one of them in your country, then it should absolutely be capitalists. Aristocrats are terrible. Just don't give them jobs. That's the real secret to succeed, regardless of economic system. Do not give aristocrats jobs. But interventionism is a good way to help you really benefit out of having capitalists, because these guys are going to give you 25% of their investment pool. So let's just like pop over to somebody who has that in 1836. It's going to be you, right? Yeah, you've got interventionism. And so this investment pool, look at this. Holy crap. Great Britain has 1.5 million that they aren't spending on anything. This is because I turned the AI off just so we could save up a bunch of money. But that should tell you right away that investment pool contribution is a big deal. So where does it come from? It comes from these dividends. Dividends are the money that you collect, like, over the top of the cash reserves. So here we've got a furniture manufacturer. You see their cash reserves are maxed out. So the capitalists, who are the people who have the ownership shares in this country, or in that building, they are going to be they're paid the dividends, which is the profits beyond cash reserves. But some of those they'll give over to the government to expend on more construction. So that's just a way that, like, growing your economy, so long as you have ways to use your capitalists, will make you even stronger. So on that note, interventionism, this allows you to do subsidies. Subsidies are potentially very, very useful. It just depends on how you're going to use them. I don't use them a lot, and I think that that's probably a spew from me, because they can really help when you're trying to get like a new industry up and going. If you can't ensure demand for it immediately, but you need to get it constructed, then subsidizing the building is a huge asset. It's not necessary most of the time, but I think having it around as a tool in your back pocket is very helpful. So interventionism is sort of like the I think, the main target for most countries. And then there's laissez-faire and command economy. And these are both specialized laws that are both good in their own way, but they're very specialized. So laissez-faire, this one is like, I think, the best when you are a super huge great power, because minus 25% loan interest rate can stack with the loan interest rates from the technologies that reduce that. They can probably stack with having a happy and powerful petit bourgeoisie if you can finagle that. And then you can end up where your debt has an insanely low interest rate payment, like essentially almost free. You can do that. You can't subsidize stuff, so that's a big sacrifice there. But you get way more investment pool contribution from your capitalists. So let's see. Right now, we could just click this as Great Britain and just see what happens to their laissez-faire, to their cap. Yeah, look at that investment pool. Holy crap! Whoa! Right. So that's what laissez-faire does. But laissez-faire also is going to make your trade unions pretty mad, and that is actually a big deal sometimes. So if you're going to switch into laissez-faire, you might want to do it early. But the fact that you are sacrificing the ability to subsidize depending on how well you use it, subsidies, especially for expanding new markets or for ensuring local SOL is really high to guarantee migration. Basically, what I want to tell you is the more that you get good at using the subsidizing here, the more interventionism is better than laissez-faire, and the less that you do that, the more this is better, right? And that is sort of like the hands-off economic approach that some people are looking for, right? Is that generally speaking, this is going to be a little easier to work with than that if you're not going to use subsidies. Command economy, on the other hand, this is crazy. This is bananas. What is command economy? I mean, this is Soviet Union stuff. You don't get investment pool anymore, and so you need to be really careful because your economy might have some serious issues, but only might. It depends on how you structure everything else. Taxation capacity, this number is meaningless because you're not getting to command economy until the end of the game, or the mid end game. The authority is the thing that really matters. Authority and subsidies mandated. Subsidies mandated is sort of like the chain around your feet. In addition to the lack of investment pool, you have to subsidize things if you are in a command economy. So you need to be very careful because you may end up with a lot of really inexpensive, ineffective industries under government control. Just make sure that they're profitable before you take control of them. That's all you need to do. Then subsidies mandated is a lot easier to cover. But authority, this scales up where the more base authority you have, the better. So if you're going to be going into command economy to make up for the lack of investment pool, you are almost certainly going to need to dramatically increase your consumption taxes. And that's where having something like an autocracy alongside command economy would be fine, because autocracy, for those of you who know how political power works, is usually really bad if you're trying to become liberal, but it's totally fine if you've become communist, because the political strength from aristocrats doesn't matter. You don't have any aristocrats. The way that this works is it changes your ownership methods, and then there just aren't any aristocrats anymore. And so the fact that normally wealth is the thing that determines who has power in your country is also kind of not your problem anymore, because if you have command economy, then the people who have the wealth are the intelligentsia, because you have a bunch of really powerful bureaucrats, or if you're in a council republic, then it's your workers. So either way, it's okay to be in an autocracy if you have and in fact I think it's generally good if you have a command economy. So if you're going to use command economy, plan for it. Make sure that you can line yourself up to be specialized. I think command economy is generally a lot better with vanguardists, simply because I do think you want to be in an autocracy. Because you need to get authority from somewhere, and you should not be in an ethno state. You should be in multiculturalism most of the time. I think you can make an argument for racial segregation out of East Asia, but that's about it. All right. That's a longer video, but this is a more complicated topic, so I think that's okay. Yeah, that's Walker. That's We Play Games. Like and subscribe for more content. All right, bye.